Hi friends! So today we're going to talk about the story of Julia's parents getting divorced. And if you saw our video that we put out a couple weeks ago on growing up with divorced parents, this will give you a really good idea of what Julia experienced with her parents' divorce.
So the reason why we thought it would be nice to talk about this story and kind of share it is our goal is to be sharing these stories, is to be making ourselves vulnerable, sharing the experiences, the things that we've gone through that we know have impacted us, because maybe it resonates with you. Also because the way that my parents got divorced is unlike anything I've ever heard. I have literally, and I've spoken about this with dozens of people, and I haven't heard anyone else.
You guys have felt like this and felt like you wanted this to happen in your family, and maybe you're thinking about that right now.
Oh my God,
as you're watching the video, and this will give you hopefully some insight into how these things can benefit you in the end. And even though they're scary right now, there's such beauty on the other side.
I grew up, you guys know, because we made a video about growing up with anxiety. So if you guys watched that video, if you haven't, I recommend heading over there to watch that now, then come back and finish this video. The reason why I grew up with anxiety was because I knew that at some point my parents were gonna get divorced. My parents were constantly in couples therapy, and they were starting to argue more frequently. So my first immediate thing was I called my sister and I said, Sarah, I know that they're waiting for me to go to college, to get divorced, and I can't take this pressure anymore. I can't age any faster, and I don't want to be the reason why our parents are staying together when they shouldn't be together. Sister said, you know what, I'm coming home, we're gonna sit them down and we're gonna talk to them. So that weekend, my sister and I sat my parents down and we called a family meeting, and we said, we think that it's time for you guys to stop going to couples therapy to discuss how you can be together, and we think that your time in couples therapy would be better spent discussing how you could amicably no longer be together. So essentially, my sister and I sat my parents down and gave them permission to get divorced. A few hours later that day, my parents then sat us down, and then we sat down and we talked, and we decided we are gonna get separated. And that was how my parents ended up getting divorced. It was a very unique situation for my sister and I to essentially give my parents permission. The reason why we did that was because we could see that it wasn't working, and I knew that my parents were waiting for me to go to college. And that is the point that Jen made, was you might be in this situation of knowing your parents are waiting. Exactly. Like, you might be able to perceive that your parents aren't happy together, but you might think that there's a reason that they're staying together, and that reason might be related to you. It might be completely unrelated to you. But if you notice that the reason why I wanted to share this with you guys is to almost give you permission to have the bravery and the courage to have this conversation with your sibling, with your parents, so that you can have that open dialogue. Through doing this for years, and then especially obviously the fact that my sister and I sat my parents down and they were receptive to it, that built the confidence for me to do that. And I say that because you might try this and the people might not be receptive, and that doesn't mean that you did something wrong.
Correct.
Don't go into it with expectations that these people are going to understand how you feel or meet you where you're at or do the thing maybe that you're hoping they'll do, because we both know, and we've talked about, expectations are kind of a killer.
That parents are taken aback by the fact that you're gonna sit them down. Like, no parent, I think, really expects that. I don't think anybody ever expects 100%. That. And that's why this is such a unique situation, and it's impressive that your parents reacted the way that they did.
Right, that they weren't
because they weren't ever thinking, like, I wonder when Julia and Sarah and I are gonna sit us down and have this conversation and give us permission to get divorced. Like, that would never have gone through their heads.
Completely.
And I think it's wonderful that because your family is so open and have such healthy communication styles, that they were receptive to that.
Completely.
And you know what's really cool? When Julia told me about this and told me that she kind of realized through therapy that her anxiety related to sleepovers. Remember when you told me that and I like freaked out? her anxiety related to like sleepovers or going away was because she had so much fear she would come home and her parents would be divorced. And I used to be like, why doesn't Julia want to sleep over? And like, it just makes so much sense now.
Like I would
it's amazing.
Literally the panic attacks that were
Yes.
the moments of my childhood that literally were why my parents sent me to see a therapist. The only common theme
Yes.
in them was being removed from the company of my parents.
And I didn't have that type of anxiety. I had a different type of anxiety related to a whole bunch of other stuff. But
Which, go watch the video.
and you'll find out. But that was like the major difference. I didn't have that anxiety. I knew what I was coming home to. So that was like totally different, and that impacted your childhood so significantly differently than the way that my parents' divorce impacted my childhood.
Really just riffing, I've like never even, this is like a little aha moment that I
Right
just
now?
had, like literally just now. It's like really important for me to get ample time in my home. It like literally has a direct correlation on reducing my anxiety, and I'm like, oh my God, that's so
I love when this happens.
is now I'm like, oh, that's related
why.
as well.
Wow,
It's like
that's such a great point.
Spending more time for me at home like feels very settled because it's like the safe space that there will be no surprises.
Yes.
That is
Oh my
why-
God, I'm so proud of
The
you.
reason why we wanted to make this video is to encourage you guys to be courageous and have those conversations, and to have people that you can have these conversations with, bounce things off of, because you never know what aha moments are gonna happen.
I know. It's amazing.
It's
I love
so
it.
good.
You guys know what to do. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and hit the bell to subscribe.
Yep, so you don't miss out on future videos.
Yep. And we will see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.
I love when this happens.
Yeah, oh my God, that's so interesting.
So good.
Oh my God.
These are the moments I like live for.
I like never want to leave my house again.
No.
We're not going to take an aha moment and turn it into agoraphobia. That's not what's up.
We're not turning. No.
But oh my God,
I can help you
that's
through
so
that though.
Interesting.
Yes.
You guys, find yourselves, though now there's a new point of the video. Basically now that my entire point of this video is just find yourself a friend that you can verbally process stuff with, because like, I swear, it's like the more time that we spend together, the more aha moments happen for me. I like do nothing for her. For her therapy.
She
not
true.
partial
That
therapist.
is so not true. At least we cook dinner together, and sometimes she feeds me as a method of payment.